Peace, family. Peace, peace, peace. All right. So, if you are new to my channel, my name is Esteem. I do these inspirational videos. Okay, honey. By the time you leave from watching this video, you gonna feel good. Okay, and that is a promise I am standing by. Okay, listen. If you are new, I welcome you. If you've been here several times, I appreciate you. Okay, and basically my channel is about growth, is about evolving, is about us being aware of the things that we tend to do that is not working, is outdated, no longer serving us, and we know we need to do something different. And so with today's video, okay, so today's video is about settling because you have children. Okay, you feel the need to settle because you have children. So for a long period of time, okay, I felt like I needed to settle. At that time, I had 2 children, and my oldest children right now, my oldest daughter, she is 16, and my oldest son is 19. By the way, I have 4 children, okay? My youngest children are 4, my youngest daughter, and my youngest son, he's 7. So I feel like the universe really gave me a chance to do over. And I'm so grateful because what I seen was some of the things that I did with my older children, it doesn't work with my younger children, right? And if I wouldn't be doing the work on myself, I would just be continuing tradition, continuing, pathologies, continuing the habits that I would tend to do. Didn't know why. To be frank, I did not know. Whew, honey, my hands ashy. I did not know why, okay, to be frank. And so I remember when I first had my oldest son, okay, and I remember I was staying with my aunt and my uncle, and I remember I brought my oldest son home, right, to my aunt's house at that time. And I remember my uncle looked at me and looked at my son and said to me, he said, it's no more about you, it's about that baby, right? And I think a lot of us women, like, we tend to put ourselves on the back burner because we hear things like, it's no more about you, it's about the baby. Make sure the baby come first, make sure your children come first. And that doesn't work, right? That really doesn't work because, see, I'm a firm believer of if you're not good, no one else around you is going to be good. And so we need to take time out for ourselves. So what I realized was now, before you guys know, I told you guys my background story about me looking for guys that were just like my father. And by the way, did not know. I was unaware of the guys who I dated. They felt so familiar. And when I say familiar, they was just like my dad. So I had my self-esteem, it was jacked up from the door. Okay, from me being a little girl, it was it was jacked up. But what I realized was when I had children, it was more so desperate. I was desperate because I would hear, like, when my oldest son would act up, which would be, frequent. And my mother, she would say at times, she would say, he need a man, right? And not blaming this on my mama, but I'm just saying, you hear those things like, your children need a father figure, and things of that nature. And what I feel is children need a positive, male figure, especially if you have boys. But I didn't even know, how to get a positive male figure. Like, I didn't understand that once I changed my perception and once I changed me, I would be able to attract something new, right? Something different. And so, I would be promiscuous in and out of relationships. And I started becoming aware of the pattern, right? I started noticing, because I had children, I was making excuses, right? I was saying, I need to be in a relationship. It would be so much better. But what really was going on was me feeling the need to have to be in a relationship, right? And you guys know, if you don't, whatever you say, oh, I need you, like, I need it, right? Or I want it. Those are lack words, right? And so when you put that out in the universe, right, sometimes you are just oversee certain red flags and stuff like that because you so geeked, you so excited to just be in a relationship, any type of relationship, that you overlook it, okay? But what I started doing, honey, I started being aware, okay? So my last relationship ended 2017, 18, somewhere along there, right? And even in that relationship, I was doing the work on myself already. So I was, able to pay attention to certain things that I was doing. And although me and him, my last relationship, me and him had children together, I was not willing to stay somewhere that I wasn't happy. I was not willing to stay somewhere where, as though, I'm evolving and the other person, may not feel the need to evolve right then and there, right? And was a good dude. He lied every now and then. But he was, a good provider and stuff, but I needed more than just a good provider, right? I think a lot of times we stay in relationships because, especially if we have children with the person, we'll make excuses. We'll say, I gotta stay with this person because, that's the person, that's the father of my children, and, while you are miserable. And to me, life is, is if you stand with people because y'all have children together, but you so unhappy, you miserable with them, I believe in setting people free, okay? But what I started noticing, so I started understanding that I wasn't desperate no more. I started, honey, this is how I knew, okay? And sometimes I would ask myself, Dina, are you doing this because you are afraid to get in a relationship? Or are you doing this because you really see red flags? And the answer to that question is because I really see red flags. So it was this one guy I was talking to, right? Probably like two years ago. Yeah, like 2 or 3 years ago. And I knew him from high school, okay? I didn't really interact with him like that, but I, would see him every now and then, at my high school, the high school I went to. And I remember, so we friends on Facebook, and me and him exchanged numbers. And I remember, we was doing a lot of texting, and I was like, listen, I don't care for the texting, okay? Us sending messages back and forth, because one or two things why I don't care for texting, okay? Especially when I just meet a guy. One is, I need to hear you, okay? I need to hear how you are. But 2, I need to see if anybody is in the background telling your ass to get off the damn phone, okay? And so I kept, said it one time, he was like, okay, and, he started calling. And then the second time I noticed, he went right back to it. And I said, I ain't got time for this. See, this is the thing what you have to understand and realize. If you're not getting the lessons from life, you are going to repeat the course. The universe or source or whatever you deem to be doesn't care if you cry, doesn't care if you beg, doesn't care if you pity yourself, it doesn't care if you luck, wish, it doesn't care about any of those things. What it cares about is energy, vibration, frequency. If you don't think you're good enough, honey, you are going to attract people that is going to verify that you don't think you're good enough. And how do they do so? Oh, well, some of the ways they do, the way they talk to you, okay, the way they always put you on the back burner, they never available, okay, you're not a priority, you just, somebody that they could have fun with from time to time, okay, those are the red flags, those are the signs. If you cool with it, honey, I'm cool with it, right? But what I seen was certain things was not working, so I had to do something different. So what I told the guy was, I said, listen, the next time he had texted me, I had it planned. I'm going to get rid of him. Because, you know what? I ain't got time for this. Okay? If you can't even talk over the phone, honey, then that is a problem. And people always show you exactly who they are in the beginning. A lot of times we like to say, I ain't see the red flags. See, because you were so desperate, that's why you ain't see the red flags. Because you don't think that you good enough, that's why you didn't see the red flags. Because you feel as though you not complete unless you be in a relationship. That's why you didn't see the red flags. So, honey, I seen them. I wasn't trying to change the damn red flags into orange this time. I seen exactly what I needed to see. So when the next time he texts me, I said, who is this? Because by that time, I already deleted his number. Okay? And then what I started understanding was, I know how to make myself happy. Okay, I'm not looking for somebody else to make me happy or make me complete because, honey, I'm already complete. Okay, I'm not looking for somebody to do the things that I'm not willing to do for myself. In fact, I'm willing to do those things for myself. So when you're willing to do those things for yourself, you don't feel like desperate, right? Because you're taking the time out for yourself, you're celebrating yourself, you taking yourself out, okay? You affirming who you are. So all those things matter. So it was very easy to tell him, listen, who is this? Okay, and when he told me who he was, I said, all right, you can get rid of my number. And he said, why? And I said, oh, because you don't have time. You don't have time, and I don't like doing just texting, all the time. We just texting and stuff like that. And I remember the day when he had asked me did I have children, and I was like, yeah, I have 4. And it was a part of me that was like, damn, he may not want to be bothered. I have 4 children and stuff like that. But it's so funny how these things work. I mean, I ain't want to be bothered, okay? Stop looking at yourself like because you have children that nobody is going to want you. Honey, that is a story that you keep telling yourself, and that's why you keep attracting the guys that you attracted. I remember I had a good friend of mine who would give me advice on most days, okay? We worked together. We was co-workers at a hardware store. And I remember talking to him and going to him, asking for advice. And I remember the last relationship that I was in, right? And I would go to my friend and I would say, I don't think I could get anybody because I have children. And one of the things he gave me an analysis of Beyonce. And he said, you think people wouldn't mess with Beyonce because she had children? He said, no. Of course, that would be Beyonce, right? He said, I said, no, I don't think they would not mess with her because she had, he said, you're right. Guys, they mess with you because they like you. Okay? If a guy is messing with you, it's because he likes you. It has nothing to do with your children. And so, although he said that and he would give me the game, honey, I will still go back to my ways and still go back to the stinking thinking and all these different things and end up with the results I said I did not want. Okay? So, that was the first one. The second one, I was talking to this guy. And in the beginning, I was like, you know what? Let's get this out the way now. So, we exchanged numbers. In fact, he gave me his number. And I sent him a message and I was like, listen, let you know right now I have 4 children and things of that nature. And I remember when I was talking to the guy, one of the things he said was, he said, if you tell a guy you have 4 children, like, quick like that, I guess, it makes the guy think whatever. Which I didn't understand because what could they think? All right. And even if they thought whatever, that has nothing to do with me. Okay. And so me and him was talking and, you know, texting and talk on the phone. And I remember I told him, because I didn't know when to tell a person about the boundaries, right? Do you say it in the beginning stages? Do you say it in the end stages? Like when or at the middle stage? When do you say it? And I remember I was in my car, I was doing Uber, and my intuition was like, you say it in the beginning, all right? And so I sent him a message and I said, oh, these are, you know, like deal breakers for me. And I told him about the texting, and he was texting, and it would be days, probably like 2 days, I wouldn't hear from him. Now, you know, I may be a lot of things, honey, but one thing, I ain't slow, okay? And so I paid attention to, I know if a person like you, honey, you gonna hear from them damn every day, right? Unless they have somebody they involved with someone. And so I remember the guy said to me, he said, I'm not a bugaboo, because I told him, I said, listen, I don't do all just texting, okay? We need to talk on the phone. And one of the things he said was he was in a bugaboo or whatever. And I didn't understand it. I guess that was his way of saying, like, you know, I hear from him sometimes and sometimes I won't, whatever. But I ain't have time for that. And so he sent me, he sent me a message, and I said, this ain't working for me, right? And the truth of the matter is, you know, it would be times where, so one time he called me and I was busy. I was washing my children, right? And so sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I don't have time because I'm working on, you know, my career, making content and, you know, things of that nature. And then I have 4 children, and so maybe this probably wouldn't be the best time for me to be dating, because it's like it's growing season. And I'm not saying like you can't date in growing season, but I just feel like I want to establish like so much, right? Like I want to establish the car, you know, the house, you know, be financially free, financially independent, and that's really what I want. And you can't stop your heart, right, from what your heart wants, but one thing I understand and do know is the more you are desperate, the more you are like, well, I have children, I have to settle. You really don't have to settle. And another thing what I seen was, because I'm not looking, right, I get attention, so much attention from the guys. Now, I used to get attention before, but it's more so like it's a lot of attention because whatever it is that you feel you're not lacking, right? If you fill in your own cup, if you're doing the things for yourself, the universe is always going to send people your way. And it's for you to decide if you want to keep going through the things that you've been going through, if you want to see the red flags exactly for what they are, or do you want to keep on changing them and getting your little feelings hurt? Honey, I was sick of getting my little feelings hurt. So I had to see the red flags for what exactly they are. Okay? And don't listen to people that say, girl, that's your husband. You know, he the father of your children, so you should just accept him. You should just be with him because you ain't gonna find nobody else like him. That's not true. Yeah, you may not find nobody like him. Okay, like his raggedy ass. You're right. You may not find anybody like him. Okay, with the lies, the cheat, and whatever it is. You exactly right. But you will find somebody that is going to love you. Why? Because you love you. You are going to find somebody that is going to uplift you because you uplift you. Everything is within. Everything is within. And we reflect exactly how we see ourselves. We reflect it on the outside. And the people that we tend to meet, the guys you tend to meet, they just a reflection of you, honey. That's it. And so with that being said, I hope you guys got something from this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.